The knockout. The knockout stages are rolling on here on day 7 at the TUI Soccer World Championships here in Cancun. An unbelievable match that we've just seen between Mexico and Greece. The host nation are through. And what a fixture we have in front of us now. 2 remarkable stories and 1 place in the quarterfinals on the line. Both sides see opportunity, both sides see something special within reach. Next up, it's Czechia against Australia. But first, we'll have the anthems. Czechia arrive then as one of only 3 unranked teams in the tournament. Yet they've played with the swagger of a seasoned contender. Unbeaten so far and already toppling giants such as Greece. They come into this one, a last 16 game, full of belief, with ambition coursing through their veins. Across the pitch stand Australia, competing in just their 2nd ever World Championship and already breaking new ground. They've claimed their 1st ever tournament win. That was against Ireland, and followed it up with a convincing victory over Belgium. A side transformed and a side making headlines with every match they play. I'm Rob Burke, alongside me once again, Mr. Soccer himself, Dan Shaw. Dan, 2 pretty new sides. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, we'll start with Australia, shall we? Came into Oman last year and looked a pretty decent outfit, actually. But were beaten at the very end of games. They just couldn't close. And they've come back this year. I mean, the work that they've put in and what they've done to piece this together has been really impressive. And make no doubt about this, Australia believe they can win the tournament. They absolutely do. They are here to win it. They're not here to mess around. The Czechs, on the other hand, came in brand spanking new, out the packet, at the Euro Cup in 2025. They didn't qualify from the group, but my goodness, they impressed. They were so unlucky in their opening game. They played brilliantly against Germany. The final game they had was against Albania, which they needed to win. They should have won it. They were brilliant. But even better than the Czechs was Kesh Merton, the goalkeeper of Albania, who just stopped everything. He was unstoppable, Keshmerta, in the Albanian goal on that day. But the Czechs, I really felt that this side, after seeing what I saw at the Euro Cup, would go far in the tournament here in the TUI Soccer World Championships. And they have got out the groups in what was a tough group, by the way. And will be fully concentrated on getting past Australia, and in particular, the number 9, Divis. What a player, and the captain, Herdner, isn't bad either.
Two sides then who have orchestrated their own change of fortunes, and I think it's fair to say both were due a bit of luck, but it's been more than luck that's got them here. Two very well drilled sides, and as you mentioned, two sides now, regardless of their rank and regardless of their history, both believing that they can lift the trophy. Australia, get us underway. If you are just joining us, it is Australia kicking from left to right, and Czechia from right to left. That's a rather quick ball back to the goalkeeper, testing him early on. And it'll be interesting to see who takes authority in this match. They've had to work hard to get here. The Australians battling away to secure that first victory at the World Championships against Ireland. They had to wait a long old time, right until the last kick of the game, when De Silva stepped up and tucked one away to give them that victory. And that's a high press, and Divis goes down, wins the free kick. Joey Guest offering a hand, denied by Divis. And there's a bit of setting the tone, I think you'd call it, Dan.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Just showing them that they're not going to be messed around with Australia, that they're here for the fight, they're up for the challenge. Just leaving a little bit on the Czechs early on.
Czechia with the ball then. That's a nice touch in the middle of the park from Herinda. He's the man who's everywhere, but the pass has been cut out. Joey Guest on the turn. De Silva, head up, options in the middle. They've committed bodies forward here, and De Silva just couldn't quite find the pass. Czechia will go long all the way back to Bodie Denton. It's a change of number for Bodie Denton, 20-year-old goalkeeper. I think he's lost his jersey, so he's playing in the number 4. Bigger things on his mind. One clean sheet in the tournament already for the 6'4" goalkeeper of Australia. An imposing figure and a big reason why they're here. Another one, Joey Guest. Working it well. Adeli flicks it round the corner. Guest gets on the end of it. Speranza controlling wonderfully well. Adeli just looking to turn, find a yard of space, lays it off, and a good save. Quick start from Australia.
Yeah, they're right up for it. They're going to want to make an impression on the Czechs. I don't think they're the kind of side that are really going to sit back and play that low block. I think they're going to want to take the game to the Czechs, and I think they'll do the same to them.
Herinda on this near touchline. Blocked immediately. Herinda full of energy all over the park so often. Corner ball then. Lofted to the back stick where Divis is waiting, and he elects to go back to his goalkeeper. Not a player who tends to go backwards very often. 4 goals for him against the USA, as well as the opener against Greece. Certainly knows where the back of the net is, and he's pretty good at protecting his own as well.
It's incredible that he's a defender, and he just picks that ball up and drives, doesn't he? He's a real menace, and probably the one to watch alongside Herdner, the captain.
De Silva then. That's a lovely offload. Charging forward, the Australians just pulled it a little bit there. Danger signs early on, though, for Czechia. As you say, Dan, they'll want to be on the front foot, but they're just being pushed backwards a little bit in the opening 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think their opposition's done that well. You see how high Australia are pressing with those 3 shirts as well. They've been doing their homework.
They have indeed. That's a nice ball, though, and as I say, that high and too much on it. But it's applauded by Kadatsky.
It's just another thing that will just give a little extra swagger to the Australians, just those moments when you force the error. It just gives you that little extra bit of confidence.
And they have been playing with some swagger. As I said, victorious over Ireland. They won that one 1-0, a tough test in their second game. An 8-1 defeat to Mexico. But they didn't let that affect them as they beat Belgium 3-1 in the following game, adding to the win column of their record. Right-footed from Divis, a first sight at goal for him.
I thought he might shoot, Rob. Absolutely not scared at all, the defender, to take it on.
Well, Sebastian Divis, he's wearing number 9. He does class himself as a defender. And if he wasn't so good at defending, I'm sure they would have stuck him up top in the tournament. Denton into the middle, Adeli, a very typical centre forward. You don't see many of them in soccer. You don't see many quite as effective as Australia's number 10. Few goals to his name, scored against Mexico and Belgium.
He's a handful. He's a big, strong lad, but not only that, he's got really good feet.
One of the highlights of the tournament, actually, watching Adeli's battle with the Ireland captain, Sam Watkin.
I think they both enjoyed the tussle that day, those two.
Here's Sam Young to De Silva and back to Young. Good bit of press as well. Medina quick on the case. Backs to the opposition goal for a substantial period of time here. De Silva dispossessed. And Divis will just have to tidy up and go back to his goalkeeper once more. Not quite clicking for Czechia in terms of bringing the ball forward, Dan.
No, it's not, and I think you have to give credit to Australia for that. I like the way the Australians are just stroking the ball around as well. They don't like to give it away. They like to pass and move, keep possession. And at the moment, I would say that of the two, the most effective has been the men in the Australian gold.
Effective indeed, but the score remains 0-0 as we head into the 7th minute of the game. And the referee's whistle there, perhaps sparing a few blushes.
Yeah, well, he's fully entitled to go for it. I think he just put probably a little bit too much of the hands on the Australian, just pulled him back slightly. I think it was the right decision.
Joey Guest, he's got De Silva ahead of him. Adeli, an ever-present up top. It's back to Guest again, happy to reset once more. Plenty of movement off the ball, but that target man in the middle, always an option. And they're happy to spray it into him as well. Young further up the field. Bit of hustle and bustle from Divis, does well not to concede the foul. Speranza, first time cross, just too high for Adeli.
Still coming down off the previous game, Rob, at the moment. What a match we had. If we have another soccer penalty at the end of this one, I don't think I can take it.
Well, it was some atmosphere, and as if it needed any more drama. There was plenty of it in the previous game.
It's a big header, that one. I'm going to level aside. Proper header, that one.
There are a few players in the Australia side with 11-a-side experience. Burgess comes on for Australia. And there may not be too many Australians in the crowd, but there's a fair few watching back at home. What can they do from the dead ball then? Adeli on the near touchline, laid off to Burgess. He drills one in, doesn't beat the first man.
That's the right idea though, Burgess, just trying to fizz it to that back post, look for the touch. You know how many times I talk about that area, Rob. Just getting someone on that back stick in the red zone. Someone there to turn it in.
He's a new addition, Burgess, but he's been mightily effective. Does a lot of the hard yards for Australia. Here he is again, and this time fouls his man. He's their resident surfer dude, they call him. Did have trials, actually, with A-League clubs in the past. Settling rather nicely into the small-sided game. Kadatsky. They'll bring it from the back. In no hurry, Czechia. One of 3 unranked sides in the tournament. As a long-range effort comes in, problems for Denton. And Divis does well, because for a moment there, it looked as though Australia were going to turn a Czechia opportunity into a chance of their own.
And I wasn't sure if the goalkeeper just lost sight of that perhaps for a second. It looked as though he kind of saw it late, and then maybe it took a touch, or not sure, but he wasn't comfortable, and he did well, I think, at the end to make the save, because so I think that something deviated for him.
Divis down the line, his pass cut out by Sam Young, but he's disappointed actually, Young, that he's knocked it into touch. Good defender for Australia. Did score the second goal against Belgium. I think that's the big difference for Australia. They've got goals from pretty much everywhere. Certainly they've got options, and here's a main man for Czechia. Divis on the ball.
I think they enjoyed that, the Aussies on the bench, that robust challenge.
Well, plenty of benches get pretty animated. We saw the Mexicans up on their feet in the previous game. They are one of the more vocal of the coaching staff, the Australians, as Denton goes for the lob, causing issues.
Well, that's one way to stop the ball going in.
Knock the goal over.
Roll the goal out the way. Like that from the Australian keeper, though. And he did that a lot, not necessarily shooting, but it was out of the hands so quickly. They don't dwell on the ball, Australia. They like to get that ball right back up the other end from the keeper's hands. They feel probably that that's when there's the most space up there to create an attack.
Well, they got it up the other end a bit too quick for Vondrashek's liking. That's a good ball, though, from Vondrashek. And Denton equal to the task, because there was pressure arriving swiftly. Panarek wearing the face mask. You can't miss him.
Top class from the keeper, that was.
It was indeed. That's a good turn from Burgess into Joey Guest. And good strength from him. Built like a solid 11-a-side player, but he's adapted to this game very well. Born in England, Joey Guest. Lives in Melbourne currently. Good strength from Burgess. That's a 50-50, no chance, says the referee. Joey Guest, left-footed, big save, and that one celebrated.
Divis looking for a free kick there, Rob. Absolutely no chance.
And the Australians, well drilled, playing to the whistle. Isn't that lesson one? That's exactly what they've done, and they've got a corner.
They've been pretty organised throughout the tournament. They do seem to know their jobs.
Burgess then with the corner, as they just amend the placement of the ball. A chance then for Australia. 12 minutes in. And Speranza, his cross just nicks off the defender.
Surprisingly quiet opening 12 from Czechia. Australia kind of got them where they want them a little at the minute, but they need to score.
Burgess reloading then. Drilled into Adeli. Gives it, makes his way into the area. Plenty of red jerseys in the way, and that's good defending from Czechia. Young with a bit of trickery in it. I think he fooled his teammate a little bit there. They've got goals in them, Czechia. They haven't done much attacking as of yet. Undefeated in the group stage, a 3-2 win against Serbia, followed up by a mightily impressive 7-1 win against the USA. And we've seen how good Greece can be. Well, Czechia beat them 2-0 and topped Group B. So, flawless so far. Denton into Sepping and down the line to Morrison. Czechia ball. Cagey opening stages of the game.
Very cagey, particularly from the Czechs.
Lofted in the air to be contested. A chance perhaps for Czechia. Burgess on patrol. And Burgess makes no mistake.
Good work. He's industrious, isn't he, Burgess? Puts it around, works hard, gets a strong challenge in.
I wondered initially if it was just because of his haircut. You just notice him more, but he is actually all over the park, involved in everything that Australia do. And he's involved in some defending here. To Divis, takes a touch, just looking for a yard of space. That was always in his mind there, Divis. Just wanted to shoot. Touch not quite good enough, though.
No, but it looks like Australia have worked him out a little bit. You know, they know not to give this man space, not to let him shoot, because if he gets a little sight at goal, he'll take a chance.
To Divis once more, left-footed, and that's much better. Gave the keeper something to think about. Never on target, though. Warning signs from the danger man.
Yeah, but he was given too much space on that occasion. It was a little bit slow to close. And that will have to go down as a warning shot to Australia, because he could be the difference potentially in the game.
Askew onto the field then, nicknamed Dax. I think we'll go with Dax. It's pretty cool, I think. Did receive a yellow card, although he was pretty reluctant to make his way into the sin bin against Belgium. I'm not sure whether he realised it was 2 minutes in the sin bin for a yellow. Or maybe he was just trying to sneak off. I like to think he was. Morrison, his left foot delivery into De Silva, a rare heavy touch from him. And just looking to atone for his error, concedes the free kick.
Yeah, a little bit overly keen there, wasn't he? Not in a bad area to lose a free kick, though. Get back into shape.
Vondrashek skipping forward, and Australia drop deep, and he will unleash that right-footed effort. It wasn't far away. There were options in the box as well, ready to pounce on anything spilled by Denton.
Yeah, well, he's another one who doesn't mind just trotting up to that halfway line and pulling the trigger. Australia have been reluctant to close keepers. They've got a plan that doesn't involve closing down on that halfway line.
Morrison here, left-footed, switch of play to Burgess. Askew arrives. De Silva just out-muscled, and a chance for Czechia to springboard up the other end of the field. Play continues. The two long-haired Aussies dealing with that down the left, and Czechia will work it all the way back. And anywhere will do for now. Good pressure from De Silva. A solo press from him, forcing the error. And Morrison will have an opportunity to use that left foot, perhaps. And Morrison, another player with 11-a-side experience, Aussie schoolboys captain. And a big Liverpool fan. I know there's a few Liverpool fans watching back home. Phil and Sam Hobby tuning in from Wales.
No football teams in Wales, Rob?
North of Wales, isn't it, Liverpool? Denton then. Assessing his options, picks one. And Burgess raises a hand. Right idea, wrong execution on this occasion. A mightily quiet 17.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, you're right, it has been quiet. It's not really been the game that I expected so far. I kind of expected end-to-end crazy football. Instead of that, it's been a little damp, a little dull. But I think that probably will suit the Australians more. But it's certainly a game that could very much go either way right now.
It's interesting you say that, as I'm going to have to disagree ever so slightly, because Czechia played a lot like this against Greece, and it just worked so well. They're confident in their defensive abilities, and then they just springboard. So I think Australia would like it to be a little bit more open. Morrison with the foul, and that wasn't far from the edge of the area.
That was very close. They might even check it. But I did wonder where he was going to point to there, Kostas Koutsianos. He has gone for the free kick option. It's interesting because They really were an attacking force, the Czechs in Europe, but perhaps that's what they realised. Maybe they were too attacking in Europe. They've changed things up slightly.
Well, they've improved their win percentage from 25% to 57% in this tournament. So the new tactics working. Divis left-footed. He's a big reason why that percentage has improved, but he won't want to watch that one back.
Well, there was no question who was going to take that free kick and how it was going to be taken. The only question was, can he hit the target?
Well, they've put in good performances against strong opposition in the past. That loss to Germany was a 4-2 result. 0-0 at half-time in this one. Not the game we were expecting, but mightily tight, fiercely contested. And at the breakdown, both teams happy, or maybe not?
I think both teams probably a little unhappy. A, because Australia will feel that they'll want to be out there winning it. And the Czechs, because I don't think they've shown their best work just yet. So I think both will be looking for more in the second half. We up here certainly are as commentators. We want some goals. We might, be headed to the second 0-0 of the tournament. And of course, that will bring soccer penalties.
Well, two underdogs who I'm pretty sure after this tournament won't be underdogs anymore. Both with big ambitions, but work to do in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. A very warm welcome back to the action here at the TUI Soccer World Championships in Cancun. We're about to begin the second half in this knockout stage match between Czechia and Australia. A cagey first half, I think it's fair to say, between two sides with big ambitions, two sides that have performed mightily well so far in the competition, but we haven't quite seen their full potential yet, Dan.
No, we definitely haven't. In particular, the Czechs. I think they've got a lot more to give. I think the Australians, as much as I say they'll be unhappy, they will be fairly happy with the way that they've restricted Czechia. they want to be a little bit more toothy up front, I think, in the second half.
Two vastly improved sides, especially Australia. They lost all 4 of their group games last year in Oman. They won 2 this year, and Divis shaping up to shoot from the kickoff. Little surprise there. I think he's annoyed that Adeli's in the way. And in the end, Dax putting his body on the line.
Well, your giggle probably says it all.
Another player with A-League experience, the number 23. A shout out to James Goff and his class watching back home. Well, Dax is heavily involved, shall we say, in the opening couple of minutes of the half.
Probably wish he wasn't, I'd imagine, at this moment.
Bodie Denton then assesses his options and dinks one forward. Adeli beaten by Divis. And they're doubling up on Divis every time he picks up the ball. And De Silva beats Karaski.
Good high press from Australia, I really like that. Czechs struggling to get out when they put the squeeze on.
Australia really forcing the tempo of this game. Czechia will have to match it. And a late deflection, a late effort there, nearly beat Denton.
Really unlucky. I mean, that ball was travelling, fair old rate of knots, didn't have much time to react to it, managed to steer it towards the goal, and very unlucky to hit the woodwork on that occasion.
Warning signs for Czechia then to begin the half. Here's Divis, wants to let one go on his left foot. And you can't see Dan alongside me, but his face said it all, soft.
He's a good player, but he frustrates me with some of his theatrics.
An opportunity then, with 2 minutes gone in the second half, perhaps, for Czechia to get on the score sheet. They've had one close opportunity already, and Pantelechuk is stood over the ball. 3 red jerseys to aim at in the middle. Left-footed from Pantelechuk into the face of Bodie Denton. And he's a big man, but I think he might stay down just for a couple of seconds at least. Well, justified.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, that one I can definitely accept going down for. And I tell you what, Pantelechuk is one hell of a man, big old bloke, and I don't think I fancy getting smashed in the face off of his left peg from about 6 yards.
He certainly
he's
does
done well
know.
to get back up on his feet.
Certainly does know how to hit them. Pantelechuk scored the second goal just after half-time against Serbia. And I think what saved Denton there was it took a little nick on its way through.
It'll be all right in a punch-up if you can take him like that.
Nearly knocked him back to Australia. Anyway, here is Denton back on his feet. Perhaps his vision slightly more blurry than it was a minute ago, and we'll let him off with that one.
Yeah, let's give him a minute or so.
Pantelechuk then leaves it for Divis. Just a bit of hesitation. Lofted forward and headed on, but nobody there, and Guest will launch one. Anywhere will do for now.
Yeah, it was a bit of a get-rid moment there, wasn't it? Look at this again, though. Those yellow shirts pressing high. And he's never going to let Denton Divis past, is he? Adeli just blocking that angle off completely.
Well, he lives for the battle, doesn't he, Adeli? And there's a fair few this tournament that he's actually got the better of as well. Looks like he enjoys it.
He's a real nuisance, and I think he enjoys being one.
Effective, though, because it's one thing being a nuisance, it's another scoring goals. He is a nuisance, but he does score goals. Actually played at the Futsal World Cup back in 2016. Not sure futsal is quite as physical as this.
You can see it, though, sometimes with his little flicks, where he rolls his foot over the ball and drags it back. Very futsal-esque. It's a handy attribute to have in soccer.
Well, he's got the strength, but you need the touch to be able to bring your teammates into action. And he certainly got that. He can't quite believe he's given away the foul there.
Well, he's a physical man, isn't he? He likes to play that way. I think he was guilty of blocking off on that one.
Down the line then to the masked figure. Equally big and equally strong. But that's a heavy touch in the end from Panurek. A battle of the target men then. As we head into the last 15 minutes, a goalless affair so far. Askew. He's got Morrison and Guest ahead of him. Here is Joey Guest looking to get a shot away. Left-footed effort. Just wide of the left post.
Nice football again though from Australia. I like that from Dax, that little touch inside, rolls it back on the reverse. Found some space in the middle for Guest. Needs a little bit more of that, Australia. It hasn't really happened too often, but I liked it. Good invention.
Panurek. Whistle goes. And it's in favour of the Aussies.
Not a great deal of change in the second half from the first just yet.
Australia are a team familiar with late goals. Unfortunately for them, in last year's competition, they did lose 3 games to a last-minute goal. This year, of course, they were on the right side of a late winner. Lost all 3 of those games 2-1 against Albania, Latvia and Peru. The only game that didn't finish 2-1 was against Mexico. And, well, do I need to say they lost that one? I'm not sure. We've seen how brilliant Mexico have been in the past and currently are. A magnificent game we've just seen. If you did miss it, go back and watch it. You won't regret it. Young and Guest combining. Joey Guest constantly scanning for options. Adeli, the one he chooses. The battle continues and Adeli comes out the winner. And more importantly, he's got the ball. De Silva to the back stick. A header into the middle and a brilliant save. Thundered out of the arena. Dangerous from Australia.
So close. They couldn't have done much more, to be fair, Australia, in that move. It was a wicked little move again. And that's about as close as we've come in the game.
Outstanding save from Vondrashek. 25-year-old goalkeeper. Got to mention, he hasn't got a goal yet. Had a few attempts. Given away to Divis. Not a sentence the Aussies will want me to be saying. Although they got back into their shape quickly. That's something they've done really well all tournament.
They've bullied Divis so far, though, and they've done that really well. Obviously, you've had eyes on CZECHIA and Divis in particular, and I think they've mastered him, really. They've kept him quiet so far.
Well, that was always going to be the key. Can you keep Sebastian Divis quiet? So far, the answer's yes. De Silva here. He's the danger man for Australia. Joey Guest on the right-hand side looking to deliver a ball, but Kadatsky was there.
That's the only problem with Divis, isn't it? 28 minutes of keeping him quiet isn't enough. You're going to have to do it for the full 40. Just that one moment is all he needs.
Guest forward to Adeli. Flicked on to De Silva! Australia lead. Inside the half-an-hour mark. It's an Australian party down to my left. The moment was coming. We said they kept Divis quiet. De Silva's the danger man for Australia, and he's popped up again.
Well, we almost saw Australia take the lead not so long ago. That's another good move from the Aussies. And I think that they, of the two sides, are the ones who deserve to be ahead.
De Silva, he's got a habit of popping up with important goals. We've mentioned the one he scored against Ireland a few times. This one, equally, if not more important. Quite a lot of the Aussie players believe he is the best player in the squad as a shot comes in from Czechia. Capella.
Keeper's done everything right so far, hasn't he?
Speranza. Australia will certainly want another to feel comfortable as we enter the final 10 minutes of the game. Burgess to De Silva again. A lovely touch back to Burgess. And Young cleans up with the assistance of a bit of decent close control from Speranza.
Just waiting for Czechs to get going, Rob. Just waiting for them to just finally click into gear. It's just nothing's happened so far, has it?
You're bang on. They haven't clicked, not at all. And you would feel that if it ended like this, they'd leave with some regrets. Here's Divis. They need a goal, and they need it pretty soon. Capella dropping a shoulder. He's managed to get back on the end of it, and that's good play, really. Just winning the free kick there, Joey Guest, using his body.
Absolutely loved the reaction from Kostas Kousianos there, because he's the funniest, happiest guy I know. When he's on that field and someone tries to give him a bit of verbal, he makes absolutely clear who's in charge.
Denton then, Australia with the ball. Urgency needed from Czechia. Speranza to De Silva. And a rare heavy touch from him. Surrenders possession. Sebastian Divis then. The Czechia star man who's had a quiet game so far. Vondrashek through the middle. Zelenka. Decent strength from him, actually. Sam Young can't quite believe that he's conceded a free kick there.
Well, I can see his point.
Karatsky then.
One of those challenges, it just goes either way. Just depends on your luck.
Good pressure from Australia. Adeli back on the field for De Silva. Quite a regular rotation between the two players. Back to Denton, who so far has been spotless. Took a ball to the face for his troubles. Looking for Adeli and couldn't quite find him. But again, it's all just playing into Australia's hands here. The pace the game's being played at.
Well, you know what, Rob? That's exactly what I was going to say. Just taking the words right out of my mouth there. The pace of the Czechs has just not been lively enough, and it will absolutely suit Australia to slow it down and just let that time ebb away.
Guest launching one forward to Adeli. Good strength again from him. And a lovely back heel to Guest. To the byline it goes. Speranza into the middle. And an opportunity here for Divis to break. A goal would be massive. It's in! Czechia level. And in the blink of an eye, we're all square. A huge goal. And it's Zelenka. He got his goal against Germany in the Euro Cup 2025. Well, that one will certainly go down as one of his favourites.
That might be the best counter I've seen at the tournament. That was electric. And such a shame for Australia, because that was a gorgeous move from the Aussies at the other end. But once they got that ball, my word, did they not spring to life. And we just spoke about the pace of Czechia, but there was no issues with pace on that counter, was there? That was lightning fast.
It's funny because that's what I was trying to say at the start, was that usually they play at this slow pace, but then regularly springboard into life. It's just that in this game, they've only done it, what, once? Fortunately for them, they scored, and we're all level, but they just haven't done it enough, and really it's credit to Australia, but you just want to see a little bit more of it if you are of a Czechia persuasion. 5 minutes or so to go then. Long ball headed into the mixer. Well won. Well, I was about to say well won by Speranza, but unfairly, says the referee.
Just wonder how that will affect the Australians mentally with the issues they've had in the past with those late goals. Important that they don't just get a little too carried away, particularly with the knowledge that the Czechs are that fast on the counter, as they just saw. Don't want to commit at the wrong times. Obviously, they're going to want to try and win it inside 40 minutes. They won't want to take it to soccer penalties. There's only 5 minutes to go, but they've just got to be a little careful at the opposite end.
It's almost as if Czechia lured Australia for 35 minutes on purpose, as if they'd forget their capacity to break. A shot from deep and a big save from Denton.
Well, he's one of the best that I've seen keeper-wise for hitting the target in the Czech goal. He is a problem. However, the Aussie keeper tonight has been brilliant. Not much he could have done about that goal for the Czechs.
Well, blink and you'd miss the counter-attack. Off the line, smuggled in. They've turned it on its head. Kadatsky, the man of the moment, in the right place at the right time. And all of a sudden, Czechia in control of this game.
Well, that's tough on Australia. I mean, the ricochet it took was so unfortunate. And it's amazing that the Czechs could just play, I'll be frank, so poorly for all this time and somehow be in front.
De Silva charging forward. Adeli, that's a lovely touch. The futsal skill coming into play there. And all of a sudden, the onus is on Australia to find a leveller.
Well, I said they had to be careful not going for broke, but they have to now.
And that's drilled all the way through. The score, Czechia 2, Australia 1, and that's a scoreline that'll haunt the Aussies. I mentioned earlier, they lost 3 of their group games last year by this scoreline. The bright side, of course, is that those winning goals for the opposition came in the last minute of each game. They've got 4, in fact, they've got 3 minutes here to find a leveller. Sam Young on the ball. Here's Guest to De Silva. Well worked from Australia, and they'll win a corner.
Really nice from De Silva, that. Lovely turn, poked it inside. Good defending from the Czechs. That's a worry with the Czechs when you see a side like that and can still turn things around. It just goes to show they have got a bit of quality there.
Corner ball, De Silva to Guest. Probing now Australia, Adeli. De Silva again, but good defending from Czechia. Well, they were in a lull for almost 32 minutes of this game, and they sprung to life, scored 2 goals, and now they're back to defending from range. Never really troubling the goal, but another just a warning sign that Australia can't go hunting too keenly.
Well, they haven't got a choice at this point. That's their problem, isn't it? 2 minutes to go. As it stands, they're heading out.
Well, they know where the back of the net is, Czechia. 12 goals in the competition so far. They've got 2 more to make it 14. And watching them in the opening half an hour, you'd have to wonder where those goals came from.
Well, it looked like it was either going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0, didn't it? For a long period of time. Australia in desperation time now, really. Minute and a half to go. Whoever hits this, they've got to hit the target at least. Give the keeper something to do and then hope for scraps. Or, more preferably, just hit the back of the onion bag.
Last chance saloon. Young runs over it. Adeli right-footed into the wall. Morrison over the bar. Well, it's not quite last chance saloon. Australia have scored a goal later than this in the competition already.
And they don't look to have lost their heads, do they? There's still a little bit of calmness about Australia in their approach.
Calmness indeed, but 1 minute of regulation time remains. It's their second ever tournament, Australia. This is the furthest they've ever got. But they'll have aspirations of going further. And when those late goals went in, they'd have dared to dream. Young to Morrison. Can he use that left boot to create something here? Young on the edge of the area, just looking for a yard to shoot. Divis, the danger man, charging through. Czechia to win it, which they do. They kept him quiet for well over half an hour. Perfection in the end. Divis scores, and you'd have to say, game, set, match to Czechia.
Kings of the counter, aren't they, the Czechs? Australia had to get that right, and when they didn't and Divis took it and ran with it, you knew there were problems.
The clock is in the red. For much of this game, Australia the better side. That's a lovely turn from De Silva. His shot blocked. And there is the full-time whistle. Massive celebrations from Czechia, a special moment for them. A victory really built on belief. We didn't quite believe it here watching them for the majority of that game, but they waited, they picked their opportunity, and when they pounced, they did so effectively. Quick goals on the counter, and in the end, well, they deserve it.
Well, in the end they do, you're right. I mean, it's heartbreaking for Australia really, because it looked as though they were going to be heading through. They didn't really pose Australia a lot of problems. They knew they had to keep that man Divis quiet for 40 minutes. They couldn't quite keep him quiet for long enough, and he really has been a difference in the game. And credit to Czechia, because they didn't look like it turned up. They looked half at it, to be quite honest with you. But they just maintained their cool. They waited for their chances, and when those chances came along, they took them with aplomb. So, you know, I think that will have to go to show that you can't write off Czechia. And they're definitely a side for the 40 minutes. They're a slow burn, but into the quarterfinals.
A respectable effort from Czechia. It was that effort that's carried them through into the quarterfinals for the first time then in their history. For Australia, heartbreak. They've contributed so much to this competition, given us some really good moments up in the commentary box, and for their fans in the stands and watching back at home. They haven't quite made it to the quarterfinals. They've fallen short, but they've built a foundation here. They've built on last year's performances, and it'll serve them well, well beyond tonight. It ends here then. Czechia 3, Australia 1. Don't go anywhere. We've got one more still to come.